We discovered a dead baby in the bathroom.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. He came out and me and I didn't know what to do.
Lexi, I told you about this.
But
I just asked you, baby, to tell me the truth.
Scared.
January 26th, 2023. It's the middle of the night in the small town of Artesia, New Mexico, and a teenager's life is about to be changed forever, or so it seems.
Can you tell us what happened, what you did with it, what from the beginning, from like when you first saw her to when you last?
Sure. So I triaged the patient.
Okay.
Brought her to our triage room, asked her some of the intake questions, and then moved her to a treatment room. I probably started an IV, gave some medications.
Okay. Anything else?
What was her chief complaint?
Chief complaint, I can remember. I think it was abdominal pain or flank pain, something like one of those two.
Do you remember what treatment room you moved her to?
Possibly two. I think it might have been room 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything helps you remember that?
No, just kind of thinking of the layout of the ER.
Gotcha. So you triaged her from, did you bring her in from the waiting room?
Yeah.
Okay, so you brought her in from the waiting room, took her in the treatment room, and then, you triaged her, you just got her chief complaint, did vitals?
Chief complaint, vitals. I believe the doc came in and kind of did a quick assessment in the triage room before we moved her back to a treatment room. Then from there we gave her some pain medication. She started feeling a little better, and then she said she needed to go have a bowel movement, and that's kind of when the whole thing happened.
The man speaking to police is Chris Sanchez, a nurse who works at Artesia General Hospital the night Alexee Trevizo checks into the ER. Alexee is a 19-year-old senior in high school who lives with her mother, Rosa Trevizo, and stepdad. She's considered your typical it girl. She's a member of the school choir, she gets good grades, is a well-liked cheerleader, and has been dating her boyfriend, Devin Fierro, for 3 years. As an active cheerleader, it's not unusual for Alexee to complain of back pain. But on the night of January 26th, 2023, when Alexee arrives at the hospital at 11:27 p.m., right away hospital staff know something is off.
Charge nurse is responsible for the overall running of everything that goes on. Any problems or any issues or anything needs to be dealt with as far as just about anything, you take care of that. Okay, you're in charge of the whole work center. Yeah. Okay. I was doing triage that night, and so we have three positions. We have 3 nurses, 3 positions. You have a triage nurse, and then we have 2 other nurses that take different rooms. Usually it's 1, 3, and 5, or 2, 4, and trauma 2. And then trauma 1 is one of those rooms where usually we don't have anything in there unless it's bad, and everybody kind of just is in there. So I was doing triage, and I was a charge nurse. It was a regular night. I remember she came in with back pain, and they had put her in. They were going to treat her in triage 1 with some regular medications for back pain. But after the doctor examined her, she was a little concerned, I think, because of her heart rate and some other things. So she wanted to move her into a room and do a more extensive workup, which is what they did. At that point, I don't really know anything because she's taken out, she's not really my patient. Okay. So I know that Chris had her. I know that he came to me and said there was some issues because they had ran a pregnancy test on her, and they found out that she was pregnant. And she was adamant. The mother was in the room with her and was adamant and denying to.
Did you see that, or did it was?
No, Chris came to me and told me this was what was going on in the room because we were having an issue.
Okay.
And he was worried about the mother, the dynamics between the mother and the daughter, because the daughter was completely denying she was pregnant, and the mother was relatively upset about that she was pregnant.
Okay.
So
and you're talking about Chris Sanchez.
Chris Sanchez, yeah. Okay. And so I told him, well, as long as she behaves, okay, if it's gonna make her. He goes, yeah, she's okay. I think it's gonna be fine. So that's the last I heard of it.
But Alexee is far from fine, and her story is far from over. As strange as the dynamic between Alexee and her mom may be, hospital staff need to know what's going on in order to treat her properly. So they begin running a number of tests. one which is a pregnancy test. And while everyone waits for the results of the tests to come back, Alexee lets everyone in her hospital room know that she needs to go to the bathroom. Hospital security footage shows her running down the hall to the bathroom at 1:38 a.m., now January 27th. Almost a minute later, her mom goes down the hall to check on her. Her mom goes to check on her again at 1:48 a.m. At this point, hospital staff seem to be concerned and stand by the door to see what they can hear. You can see them begin to gather and discuss what's going on. An important thing to keep in mind, at this point in time, hospital staff do know that Alexee's pregnancy test results came back positive. She is, in fact, pregnant. But Alexee and her mother haven't been informed yet because Alexee has been in the bathroom. Finally, the doctor comes into frame and we see her make her way to the bathroom. Alexee opens the door herself. Alexee walks back to her hospital room as if nothing happened. But what hospital staff discover inside the bathroom is nothing short of a nightmare.
So she was in the bathroom, and then Chris, which is one of our other nurses, he was like, because I was like, dang, she's flushing that toilet like an awful lot.
Oh, so you noticed her toilet flushing?
Flushing, yes. And then he was like, well, damn. So I went and I knocked on the door, and I said, are you okay? And she said, yes, I'm fine. I'm just having a hard time going to the bathroom, is what she replied. So I was like, okay. And then I was like, well, push the call light if you need anything.
So you told her to push call light?
Yeah, she
okay.
needed anything. And then, like, a few more flushes had gone by, and then that's when Chris was like, I don't know, because I told him, what if she's having a miscarriage in there and, you know, flushing stuff down the toilet? So he knocked on the door, and he's like, you got to unlock this door. And then she wouldn't reply, and he's like, if you don't reply, he goes, and then that's when she heard him call for me. And he was like, Lori, you got the spare key to this bathroom? I was like, yeah. Because we keep like a ring of keys by the desk where I sit. So I went and I got the key, and just as we were getting ready to open the door, she opened it, and all I saw was like blood everywhere, like on the walls, on the toilet. It just looked like a horror film. The floor was just smeared with blood, blood on the wall, like on the toilet and stuff. And
Do you remember which wall?
it was like the back wall between the toilet and the sink.
So like where if you're looking at the toilet, like
Yeah, like say the toilet's right here where you're at,
Mhm.
and then the sink's right here. It was like up this way, blood splatter.
what?
Like it was like in between here was the blood splatter, and then there was trickles of blood on the wastebasket that was right here in this area, and then there was like smeared blood all over the floor.
Oh.
Yeah, we just kept hearing the paper towel dispenser going and the toilet flushing. So yeah, when we opened up the door, like, we saw that, and then I noticed she had bloody footprints that she was leaving, going back to the room that we had put her in. So I had called housekeeping, which was Leela, and I was like, hey Leela, I'm sorry to bother you. I said, but I think this patient just had a miscarriage in our bathroom and she left like a mess. If you could come and clean it. And she said, okay. So she came down and she started cleaning it.
You can see how hospital staff react to the disturbing scene on the surveillance footage. The hospital custodian begins to clean the bathroom. It takes some time to wipe up all the blood. Then, at 2:26 a.m., as the custodian begins to empty the bathroom trash, she makes a horrifying discovery. She describes the disturbing scene to Artesia police.
I had to do everything like twice because it was, bad. I wiped down the walls and everything. And after I did all that, I usually throw my trash first, but for some reason that night I had to clean the floor up and everything else. And when I went to go through the trash, I felt that when I picked up the trash and I looked in it, there was there was trash in it, but I knew that it didn't feel like when I picked it up, it was some weight. So I thought it was the trash bags, because we put the trash bags on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started getting the trash out, and then when I did that, I seen that there was a baby in there. And that's when I freaked out, and I called Lori and HT, or the nurses up front, and because there was a baby in the trash. And the baby, when I looked at it, the baby was wrapped up like in a, like at the bottom of the trash can, and with trash on top of it, in a trash bag.
And so how did you see it like as soon as you picked it up?
No, after I picked up the trash bag that was on top, you know,
Okay,
where
so
they were throwing the trash at, when I picked that up to change it, that's when I noticed that there was, when I seen the baby.
Okay, so you lifted the liner and then saw
Yeah.
the baby, okay. And I know it bugs you, but can you like describe the baby?
Yeah, he was about like that big. He had hair, and he was like purplish, but still not like pink. You know, I don't know how to describe it. You know, he wasn't bruised or nothing like that, and he was like purple, pink skin type color.
Okay.
How was the bag, how was the bag placed or what?
It looks like she wrapped it around like that, and then wrapped it like under him, and then put him on the bottom of it.
Okay. And was the baby moving at all?
No,
Okay. Did you touch him at all?
no.
Okay. And so you said you called HT and Lori?
Yes.
Okay, what happened? What did you see after that? What did you do?
Okay. When all that happened, I moved the trash can. I told him that there was a baby in the trash. I could barely talk at that moment, and so then they took over, and I left. I mean, I went up to the nurse's station, and then they called the doctor and everything and all that stuff.
You can see hospital staff consoling her after the discovery of the baby. Artesia police are called, and when they arrive on scene, charge nurse HT describes the bizarre situation.
We did a pregnancy test on her, showed positive. She was denying that she had sex. Then she said she had to go to the bathroom. She went to the bathroom. She was in there for quite a while. We kept knocking on the door. Finally, we got her to open the door, and there was blood everywhere. She was cleaning it up. Okay. So we took her back to the room, and I was afraid that she knew she was pregnant. She had done something to herself. Mm-hmm. So the doctor started doing a vaginal exam on her. We had the lady come to clean the bathroom. She put the baby in the trash can, and then she put another clean liner over the top of it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So when they looked in there, there was no trash in there, but it was underneath the clean bag. The baby's dead. Okay, we have him in trauma too, but she killed the kid.
Yeah. How old was the baby?
I don't know. It's full term. She just had it. She had it in the bathroom. Was what happened, and then whatever she did, I don't know. She's gonna lie. She wouldn't tell us she's pregnant. She's been lying the whole time.
Okay.
So that's what's going on. I just pulled the doctor out of the room, so nothing's been said to the patient or the mother that's in there yet.
Police enter Alexee's hospital room with the doctor to inform her and her mom about what's going on.
We discovered a dead baby in the bathroom.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. He came out at me and I didn't know what to do.
Lexi, I told you about this.
But it
I
was
just asked you, baby, to tell me the truth.
scary. It was not crying or nothing.
What did you do to it?
Okay, stop right here.
I
Stop,
just put
stop.
it in.
Number one priority, guys. Number one priority is she just had a baby. I don't know if she's delivered the placenta. She's bleeding significantly.
Yeah.
I've spoken to the obstetrician at Loveless. They want her out there as soon as possible.
Okay.
I obviously need your permission to transfer her for medicals. She needs to
She's
be
19.
Oh, you're right.
But she is a student too.
She's
No,
still
no,
19
you're
years old.
right. You're right. She needs to. I'm sorry, I forgot she's 19.
Keep out of me.
But you need to make sure that you're safe. I need to send you to Loveless to labor delivery. Will you please agree to that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, great. I'm gonna work on that. I'm sorry about this, but in terms of delivering a baby and it looked like you tried to hide it, we do have to have the police involved.
And nothing was crying. It came out with nothing.
I know. But the baby's gonna have to be taken for autopsy and there'll be an investigator and everything. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But we need to do this correctly. And I want to be transparent with you about what our steps are gonna be.
Notice the body language between Rosa and Alexee,
Sir, do you need
and also notice how it seems the only thing they are concerned about is what's going to happen to Alexee.
You guys have any questions for me?
Like, how big is the baby?
It's full term.
What?
Nothing,
9 months?
nothing was crying.
Lexi, have you watched the news of the girls that what they do to their babies and what they go to jail?
I was crying.
Any other questions? Okay. So as of right now, like what I said is we're gonna have the detectives come over here and they're gonna talk to you, okay? We have to gather some more information about what's going on. They'll get your statement, they're gonna get the doctor's statements, they're gonna get everybody's statements, okay? So I don't know everything yet, okay? So I'm not gonna tell you, I can't tell you nothing honestly, okay? All I can
But
say
she's
is,
not gonna go to jail.
right now, she's
no.
right now, she's being detained. So she's not gonna leave from here at all, period, okay? So one of us will
She's
be
in your custody? Like,
yeah, she's detained.
oh my
Yeah, she's not under arrest, but she is
Okay.
detained, okay? She's not free to leave. So while this whole thing is coming up, is you're not free to leave, okay? One of us will be in here the whole time with you, because you're not gonna try to leave or nothing like that.
She
Alright.
won't.
Like I said, the detectives will be here, they're gonna talk to you. I mean, your care is of the utmost right now, okay? They're gonna do what they need to do to take care of you, to make sure you get stable. They get you transferred out or whatever. Like I said, the detectives are already been notified, they're already on the way, so they're gonna come talk to you, alright? So don't leave, don't try to do nothing. One of us is always gonna be in here, in this room with you, okay? Unless we have to step out for doctor's orders or something like that, because if they need to examine you or do something with you. But other than that, like I said, you are detained, you are not free to leave at this point, do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Where was the baby at?
I don't know, I have no clue yet. Like I said, I just talked to the charge nurse, we're still getting all the information right now.
Okay.
Okay. Once we get that information, like I said, the detectives, they can clue you in on everything and talk to you more about it.
Okay.
Alright? So. Do you happen to have an ID on you, by chance?
Yes, she does.
Okay. Can we get that, please?
Mm-hmm.
All that information. Call it in to the so not on radio.
Okay.
Hang tight right here with her, okay? I'll do that. Ma'am, could we get your ID also, please?
Yes.
Could we put you?
Yeah.
If you have anything, call me, okay? Alright.
Can I step out? I'm gonna call my husband.
Yes.
It's a heartbreaking turn of events. Why didn't Alexee call for help in the bathroom? Did she really not know she was pregnant? Or did she know and just not tell her mom? Or did she throw the baby in the trash for selfish reasons? As more hospital staff talk to her after the baby is discovered, the more bizarre her story becomes.
So anyway, so I go into the room with her, and I know that I need to scan her, but I need to scan her through the vagina, not through the belly, because I noticed that there was a significant amount of blood on the table. And there was a police officer in there, and I was a little bit uncomfortable with him being there, and so was she. So I asked him if he could step out and just stand by the door. So he did that. So I didn't want to have a conversation with her after I was given this information. But she was talking to me, and while I'm trying to get things set up, and she says, I don't know what's going on. She said, I didn't know I was pregnant. I'm a cheerleader. I started gaining a lot of weight. My clothes were tight. I was taking birth control pills. So she said this didn't make any sense to me. I don't know what to tell you. And I did my scan, and then I left. And after talking to the ER doctor, I mean, she was obviously in labor, you know, and I think she knew that. And so my assumption was, you know, she panics because when she was talking to me, she was talking pretty rapid, and she was like, I don't understand. So, you know, was it all mental, psychological, who knows, but she definitely knew what she was doing, and what was doing was wrong, because of the way she was talking to me, you know, just stating, you know, I didn't realize I was pregnant, and, you know, but I'm taking birth control, you know, so, I mean, she was panicked, but I didn't see her being in a state of mind where she did not know what she was doing. And that's just my perception working with women, well, not just women and men, and scanning in general, who's a little bit off, and I didn't get that with her. She's pretty much, and she felt it. You could tell that she was, I don't know if I should say if she was worried or she was concerned, because she knew what she did was in the wrong.
Even more disturbing is when the hospital staff has to create a birth certificate for the baby.
As a house supervisor, I'm in kind of charge of everything that happens during the night in this facility. And so, and even Dr. Salgado called me and was wanting to see what had happened, and he told me that he was awake, he was already planning on coming in, to speak to the doctor. And so, Cindy Buck actually had told me, okay, yes, we need to register the baby. And as a Jane Doe or whatever, infant male, but there's also a paper that I need you to, ask her. There's a paper that you need to ask her, and the nurses fill out. And it's very important that you, that we know whether or not the baby took a breath or whether or not the baby did not take a breath. And I said, okay, well, so at that time I said, because every nurse by that time had been telling me that this patient had been kind of changing up little bits and pieces of her story while she was in the presence of her mom, I guess. So when I said, okay, I'll try to, get the truth out of her, then Cindy was like, well, whether you have to ask the mother to leave the room, but we need to know. Mm-hmm. So I went and I found the form that Cindy was talking about, and I go into the patient's room and I introduce myself, and I said, there's just a few questions that I need to ask you, and most of it was first and last name, date of birth, social security number, which she didn't know, and then whether or not she knew, whether or not she took any kind of medications, and then so I said, so, right now it's very important that you're very honest and truthful with me. I said, and it was just she and I in the room, and
Mom wasn't there?
Mom was not there.
Okay.
And I said, did your baby take at least one breath when it first happened? Did it take at least one breath, or was it not breathing? And then she kind of looked at me in the face and the eyes, and she was like, well, can I tell you? And I said, tell me what? And she said, so I've been having this bad abdominal pain, she said, and we came here to the ER, and when they brought me back here to this room, I felt like I needed to go poop. She said, and I asked if I could go to the bathroom. She said, and so when they said, yeah, that I could go to the bathroom, she said, when I sat on the toilet, she said it just all fell out. And she said, but when I had it in my arms, it wasn't breathing, it wasn't moving. And so, of course, you want to be very, very judgmental at that time, and you have to bite your tongue sometimes, but my first reaction was I wanted to say, hey, well, then why wouldn't you call us for help? But I didn't. She said, so he wasn't moving, he wasn't breathing. So I just placed him in there.
Was that the last contact you had with her?
Then, so then I asked, so do you have, was it a steady boyfriend? She said yes. And then I said, did he know that you were pregnant? And she was like, no. I said, did you know that you were pregnant? And she said, no. And then I said, so do you want to include him because there was a section for like the birth certificate. And I said, so do you want to put his name down as the father? And she said, for what? And I said, you know, this is all new to me too, so this would probably be for the birth certificate as well as a death certificate. And she said no, that she didn't want to put him down. And I said, okay. So I think she had to sign it, and she signed it, and then that was it. That was the only contact that I had with her.
While Alexee is medevaced to Lovelace Hospital, her family stands by in the Artesia General Hospital waiting room. Alexee's boyfriend, Devin, and his mother have made their way to the hospital by now, too.
Hi, Rosa?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. Is this your family?
Yes.
Okay, hi, I'm Detective Gonzalez, Artesia Police Department. What questions do you have for me right now?
What's gonna go on? Like, what, can I be with her?
She's getting life-flighted out right now.
Okay,
So they're taking her right now.
okay,
I haven't spoke to her at all.
okay, so what's gonna go on? Like, what's gonna happen with her? Like,
So she's gonna get treatment before we even talk to her because she needs to be stabilized. So that's why she's getting life-flighted out.
okay,
Once she gets stabilized, we'll try and talk to her. The baby's gonna go up north for autopsy. More likely it'll be done within the next day.
is she gonna get detained after, like, she's released? How,
Get what?
like, are y'all gonna take her into custody or anything like that? Like,
That depends on what the DA finds. We have to wait for the autopsy to come back to see what happened. Because right now with how everything happened, we're going to do an investigation, get more information from the OMI, Office of the Medical Investigator up north. And with that, we present that to the DA, see what the DA wants to do with charges, if any at all.
Alexee is released from the hospital and simply returns home. It's not until the baby's autopsy results come in that she gets charged. Nurse HT tells police he's never seen anything like this.
Finding out your daughter's pregnant is not uncommon. Not the other incident, not the
No, I've never seen anything like that.
Okay, just want to make sure, like,
No.
so just...
No, I've seen lots of young girls come in and find out they're pregnant, and then of course they deny it. It's not uncommon that they deny that, no mom, I haven't even been having sex. You know what I mean? That's a lot of them's initial reaction.
Right.
Because, you know, they feel like they're going to be in trouble, I guess. I don't know what they're feeling. But that's not an uncommon reaction that I see with young girls and their mothers, particularly with their mothers in there, or father, that they'll deny that they've had sex. That's pretty common.
Is there anything we haven't asked you think we should know?
I'm just going to tell you this. I've never, ever seen a reaction like that girl. I don't even know what to say about it. There was zero emotion. I don't even know what to say. I've never seen anything like it. I've seen women that are only married, or not married, but pregnant for 6 weeks and they lose that baby and they're a mess. You know what I mean? That girl went into that bathroom, made no sounds at all, and the baby came out of her. And I don't even know how she functioned that way to do what she did and with no emotion. I've never seen anything like it.
And it was a pretty good sized baby. Pretty good size.
It looked term to me.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, it was term. I can't tell you that was, but the only thing that upsets me the most is I understand she was scared, and I think her mother had a big dynamic on her, and I understand that. I mean, I think her mother was probably pretty controlling. I don't know that. I'm just speculation. But she gave me no chance to save that baby. I had no chance, and that's not what I do. My job is to save lives, and I had no chance on that baby. She gave me no chance. And we are a facility that you can drop the baby off, no questions asked. You can just leave the baby and go. I don't care, you know, as long as you bring the baby to a safe. We are one of those type of hospitals, so it's hard to fathom what was going on in her mind. I don't know. I've never seen anything like that, and I pray to God I never see it again. I mean, it was like, I don't even like TV, you know what I mean?
Right.
You just I don't even know what to say, man. It was crazy.
On March 28, 2023, an autopsy concludes the baby's cause of death as entrapment and the manner of death as homicide. Specific details like air found in the baby's lungs and stomach, the connection in the baby's heart that allow proper blood flow in utero were still open, and the microscopic hemorrhage in the adrenal glands, which can be seen in hypoxia or a lack of air, all indicate the baby was born alive. Alexee spends the next 3 months at home, living life as she normally would have. She even attends prom with her boyfriend Devin in late April. It's not until May 10th, 2023, almost 4 months later, that Trevizo is formally charged with first-degree murder, child abuse, and tampering with evidence. Police body cam captures the moment she's taken into custody.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, what are we doing? I'll bring her out. Just tell me what's going on.
There's a warrant for her arrest.
Okay, for what?
I will give it to her whenever.
Can I see a warrant?
She can see the warrant when she gets arrested.
But this is my house. I have a right to see the warrant.
I'll let you know she has a warrant for her arrest. We have a search warrant for your house. We have a warrant for her arrest.
Okay, can we see the warrant?
Yeah, once we get all of her, she'll get a copy of it.
She gets a copy of it.
Can I go up there when you take her up there?
Yeah.
Go to the
Her
detention.
lawyer,
You know where it is.
everything?
It's
Okay,
lawyer-
so what is she under arrest for?
She's over 18.
I understand that, Detective Gonzalez. What is she under arrest for?
She has a warrant for arrest. Okay?
For what?
That's all I'm going to tell you. Okay?
What do you mean that's all you're going to tell me?
Now, she's over the age of 18.
I
We have to
understand
talk to
that,
her.
but I have a right to know as well.
And we'll tell you that, but we
Okay,
we
then
need
let
the
me know
cooperation.
now.
We need the cooperation.
Let
that
me
you
know
promised us.
now. I'm giving you the cooperation. I told you everything. Answer my question.
Well,
What is she under arrest for?
Like I said, she's over the age of 18. Like, that's not, that we can't relinquish that information. But if you bring her out here, we'll tell you.
What is she under
If
arrest
you bring her out here,
for?
we'll tell you right in front of you.
No, I'm not bringing her out here yet. Let me know what she's under arrest
She's going to get
for.
arrested regardless, ma'am. I mean, that's just, I don't know why you
For
want
what?
to go through this.
For what? For what?
You okay with telling me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Tell me.
Homicide. Open count of homicide. And tampering with evidence.
Tampering with evidence
Yes.
at the hospital?
Mm-hmm. So, can we see her now?
Give me a minute.
Okay.
I have a right to see one.
What's in there?
Personal.
Personal meds?
Yeah, she needs them.
Follow me.
Many are outraged following Alexee's arrest. After spending only 6 days in jail, she is released on a $100,000 bond, which allows her to finish her school year and even graduate from high school. Is Alexee as evil as she's made out to be, or is she a scared teenager who's afraid to face her mother behind closed doors?
Once we all figured out what was going on and I went in there, she essentially was scared. She was worried that she was going to get in trouble. She did have a back and forth with her mother that was just about like, they had said, oh, the mom was upset because she had had sex and hadn't told her. So they were going back and forth on that, and then she was just denying it, which was a little out of the, wasn't really deniable at that point in time.
Right.
So the patient was denying having sex at this point to her mom.
Yeah, she was trying to state that she was still a virgin.
After she came in from the bathroom and all the blood and all that. Okay.
So did the pelvic, and then I think shortly after that the mom was in the waiting room after that. And then she was just worried. She was asking me like what was going to happen. I told her obviously I did not know.
Is this when you found out she was worried about getting in trouble? Did she tell you anything like?
She didn't say anything about what had happened. She was just essentially worried that she was just going to get in trouble.
So that's what I mean. Were those the questions she was asking?
Like so, what's going to happen to me? Like that kind of thing.
Did she ever ask about the baby?
No.
Not once.
After Alexee Trevizo was released on bond from jail, she continues to live a free life. On August 22nd, 2023, Alexee appears with her defense attorney Gary Mitchell for a motions hearing in Carlsbad, New Mexico. Her trial date was originally set for August 26, 2024, but this trial date is removed from the docket, all because of the arguments her attorney brings to the pretrial hearing.
Sure, Judge, and I'll be as succinct as possible. When the court reviews the argument that Ms. Luce made regarding HIPAA and the argument I made, we both agree under the law, there's not a remedy under HIPAA for one exercising the privilege. There are fines that a hospital and doctors pay for violation of HIPAA, but that has to do with the Department of Justice and their investigation and Medicare and Medicaid and whatever they decide to do. But for the individual, there's no remedy under federal law under HIPAA that you could exercise. You can't sue for damages or anything like that. So my purpose in bringing this today, however, is under New Mexico law, and I cited the court to this. Rule 11504 is a physician-patient privilege in the state of New Mexico that we believe applies. And I, in my brief, cited the court to Bertrand and Roper, which are the two key cases for the exercise of that privilege. Our position is we have not waived this privilege in any way. We did not sign a waiver. It applies to the doctor. It applies to all hospital personnel. It applies to Artesia General Hospital. And later on, it applies to the hospital in Roswell where she was taken. So and that's one reason I attached a timeline so the court could know. This entire case hinges around what happens in a bathroom and the emergency room of Artesia General Hospital on the date in question, which was January 27th of 2023. The timeline will tell you that there's one admission sheet that says 12:03, but by 12:05, she's in the emergency room. And then within a few minutes, she receives medication and through an IV and including morphine and several other different kinds of medication. It's a timeline would reflect. Without getting into that too much, she's examined by an emergency room doctor. She has a nurse that's there. People come in. The hospital asks for a UA and blood. They do a blood test. And by 12:51, they know that she's pregnant. And then we know when it comes to this privilege that according to and they happen to have a video camera or some type of camera in the emergency room part of Artesia General Hospital that shows her leaving her room. And we know from the records that at 1:39, she leaves they go in, they unhook her from the IV, let her get up. She virtually runs down the hall, trots down the hall to the bathroom. And then according to the police report that you have from Officer Minter of the Artesia Police Department, who reviews that video and goes through it, she's in the bathroom for approximately 18 minutes and then leaves the bathroom and goes back to her room and then by a certain time period, and let me pull that up so I can speak intelligently to the court. We know that after the 18 minutes in the bathroom, we know she's back in the room, and we know that emergency room personnel go in and they begin, the cleaning staff goes in and they begin to clean the bathroom. And later and that begins at 2:08. And then by 2:27, they find the baby. And at 2:38, the doctor pronounces death. And then police arrive after that. So when the police arrive, the doctor wants to wait for the police to get there. I don't think this is disputed at all. She waits to talk to the two officers from Artesia Police Department, both of whom I've attached their reports, the sergeant and the officer that came in. And I've attached those as exhibits. So they come in, they talk to the doctor, and then they go in the room where she is. And the doctor walks up to her and asks her and tells her they found the baby and says something to her. You have the videotape of that. It's a lengthy videotape for you to examine of that time period with the officers there. The officers both say in their report that they told her she was detained, could not leave, and for purposes of Miranda, I would argue in custody and not free to leave, which means that at no time is there anything read about Miranda, which gets us to the suppression issue. But back to the privilege, the key question is to determine, when does this privilege apply? Well, it applied from the first time she went to the hospital. That's real clear under the rule and under the case law, and it applies to everybody there. And really the state's case is the time in the bathroom. And then it applies afterwards as well. So my position to the court is everything that takes place between the time she goes to the hospital all the way through is privileged information that the doctors and the nurses could not give out to Artesia Police Department, could not give out to anybody without a waiver from my client, and we've never waived it.
In this key hearing, Judge Jane Gray ruled in favor of the defense, stating that much of the evidence collected could not be presented in court. This ruling sparked community outrage, especially among students at New Mexico State University, where Alexee is currently attending college. A petition emerged calling for her removal from the university, gathering over 25,000 signatures. As we await the next developments in Alexee Trevizo's case, it's clear that this story is far from over. The legal ramifications, along with the societal discussions it has sparked, will continue to unfold in the coming months.
Tell me the truth.